My name is Diane and I've had the pleasure of teaching Pilates here at the Redlands YMCA for the last 20 years. And often people say, you know, I'd really like to take a Pilates class, but I'm afraid that it's too much for me. And my response to that is that, well, we need to go back to the basics, and that's why I'm here. I want to show you a very, very basic Pilates class, a way to get started so that you feel comfortable walking into our regular sessions. The first thing I want to tell you about before I start to work is the importance of your core. Your core are your abdominal muscles, your back, your hips, and your glutes. They give you the energy to work. And so, well, I'll talk constantly about engaging the core and maintaining it as we go along. So I just thought you ought to know that. So I'm going to invite you to bring yourself into a comfortable position. I'm sitting out of my hips. I'm going to lay my hands atop my thighs, elbows rest under my shoulder. Let the crown of the head lead tall and the tailbone drops down into the floor. So we create a sense of length for both the neck and the spine. We're going to softly close the eyes here, and as we do, we begin to draw the breath deeply in through the nose and that long exhale through the mouth. You want to take these first few moments. This is called centering, where we connect the mind and the body in the breathing. And it's diaphragmatic breath that we're using. So again, breathing deeply in through your nose. Feel the expansion of that rib cage, and when you exhale, dig down into the lungs to release that residual carbon dioxide from the body. Then we're going to drop our chin slightly to the chest and sway our head. Let your ear reach gently out toward the shoulder. Many times we carry tension in this part of the body, and that's why we begin our class with this, so we can alleviate at least a little of that tension. So then let's bring our chin back to the chest, and now that all-important core, we're going to engage it. So we start with the abdominal muscles first. I'd like you to draw them in and lift them up. Picture yourself taking hold of your navel and guiding it right back into the spine. From there then, imagine a seat belt that we pull over our hips and belt to the floor. Next is the pelvic floor musculature, and this may be an unfamiliar term to you. Your pelvic floor is the muscle that allows you to maintain a full bladder. Imagine you've just had too much iced tea or water to drink, and you have the urge to go to the bathroom, but you don't want to move, so use that pelvic floor to draw deep inside. And finally, a deep contraction, all layers of the buttocks, minimus, medius, maximus. We now step our fingertips to the floor, and as we do, we're going to sweep our arms up, inhale and lift, reach tall. Exhale and release. Once more, sweep up, inhale, lift. This time I want you to round your back, come all the way out. Let your fingertips walk away and draw your head through those arms. Keep your hips anchored to the floor. And then, when the stretch is finished, we're going to put our hands on our thighs, elbows in, and press into the legs, allowing the body to lift. Then we do it on the other side. Once more, fingertips to the floor. We're going to sweep our arms up, inhale and lift. Exhale and release. One last time, sweep up, inhale, lift. Here we go again, round your back all the way down and pull yourself into that stretch, really reach. Then take your hands again on those thighs, elbows in, pressing into those legs and lift yourself up. Bring your head up, big shoulders up. Let's roll back and down. Together now, let's all take a breath. And that long exhale out. All right, we're going to open our eyes now, and I'm going to turn us. We're going to move to the edges of the mat for the roll down, roll up. This is part of the warm-up. We're going to bring our feet hip width apart. Take your hands behind your thighs, and I want you to pull yourself up into a nice seated tall position. Then we're going to bring our arms out and relax the shoulders. I want you to take a breath. On the exhale, give me a big C curve round the back, and we're going to lay that body down on the floor with arms now reaching overhead, fingers reaching to the wall behind you. Now we're going to breathe in, bring the arms up, and you may find you need to do this. Put your hands behind the thigh and pull yourself to come up. And that is what you'll do until you build the strength in the core. Let's do that one more time. Come on down, let those arms reach back, and then breathe in, bring the arms up, and we'll put those hands, and now a successful roll down, roll up. We're going to come back to the floor now, all the way down. We're going to stretch the body out, arms overhead, fingers reaching, legs out front, toes reaching long. Let's all take a deep breath in. When we exhale, sweep the arms alongside, bring your legs, lift the tailbone, and gently just massage that lower back, rocking gently from side to side. Okay, the final piece of the warm-up is called the 100. Now this is the modified version. Your knees are above your hips, shins parallel to the floor, and there's one other alternative. If you find that that's too intense, you can put one foot down and just switch leg to leg as we're breathing here. So let me show you what it looks like. Soften the chin to your chest. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, pump it out. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as I mentioned, you can take one leg down for a breath or two and then switch out the legs. Just as a reminder, the head and neck can come to the floor. Your head is heavy, the neck is weak, so if that's necessary, feel free. Why are we doing this at all? Our goal here is to get oxygen into the bloodstream. Let's do one more. Take a deep breath in. On the exhale, quiet the movement. Bend the knees, hands to the shins. Relax yourself back. Good job. All right, those all-important abdominal muscles are next. We're going into what's called a series of 5, and I'm just going to demonstrate one movement of each so you'll get a chance to see them. The first movement is called single bent knee stretch. We bring our legs to table, and notice how the legs do resemble a table. Knees above the hips, shins parallel to the floor. Take your fingers again once more behind the thigh and soften the chin to your chest. We're going to take that left leg and stretch it out on a 45-degree angle. Your hands take hold of that right lower leg, drawing it in toward the chest, and then we switch it out. So let's just do a couple of these. Take a breath. On the exhale, we go 1, really reach out. It is a stretch. 2, and I'll do 1 more. 3, and come back in. And then we would go into a rest. Now we're going to do what's called double leg stretch. Notice I'm flexing my feet. My knees stay above my hips, and my arms once more are out right next to the thigh. I want you to take a deep breath in. On the exhale, the arms come overhead, the legs move out front, and we keep that back at rest. And then bring it in. And again, take it out. The upper body should stay very, very quiet. The arms and legs just kind of flow away from you. All right, and we're going to come on down. Good. So now, let's take our legs to the air. Circle your ankles. It's Friday. Oh, that feels good. I took a walk before I came to teach, and we go the other direction now. And we're going to quiet the movement. Let your hands come behind your thighs. Contract the back and lift, softening the chin to your chest. I'm going to have you straighten the legs. The hands could be at the calf or the thigh, whatever works best. Take as much flexion away from the knee as you can, and then slowly drop that leg to a 45-degree angle. Hands hold that right leg, bringing the thigh into the chest, and then we switch it out to the other side. From here, let's take a deep breath in. This is called a scissor kick, and we take the legs up and down. And 2, and 3. I'll do 1 more, and 4. Bring your legs up. Let's bend the knees now and put our feet down on the floor, hip width apart. So now our focus is on the oblique abdominal muscles in a movement called crisscross obliques. So we're going to only do the modified version today. Your feet are hip width apart. We're going to spread our fingers out, and we're going to lift our head up, sliding those fingertips right behind the head, and then let the head and neck cradle back. Really open up those elbows. All right, our goal is to bring the opposite shoulder toward the opposite knee. So I'm going to lift and twist. My shoulder and shoulder blade have cleared on that right side, and I'm looking at the left elbow on the floor, and I come back. And let's do it on this side. And let's do a couple more. Lift and twist. Your body is perfectly still, other than the twisting portion. And 2. Let's do 1 more time. And 3. And bring it back to center. Lay the head down. The final movement in the series of 5 here, we're going to bring our legs together, is called double leg lower. For today, we're going to do the modified version, which means, again, we're in tabletop. Our knees are above the hips, shins parallel to the floor, and the arms are by your side. So we're going to move from our hips, lowering the toes toward the floor without letting that back lift up. You're going to really feel the action in the abs. Let's all take a deep breath in. On the exhale, lower the toes. Find your challenge point. Here, you balance and breathe. And again, you pay attention to the back. You don't let the back lift away. You don't want it to come up off of the floor. Take another breath. On the exhale, let's bring those legs in. Let's bend the knees. Give ourselves a little hug here. And then we're going to take our feet to the wide edges of our mat. This is called the windshield wiper, and the legs move the same way as your wipers on your car. Oh, feels pretty good. We also can add in the upper body if you like, as that gives us balance in our stretch. Good. Okay, let's come back into center now, and we're going to change our location on the mat. I'm going to invite you to bring your legs now into the chest, hands on the shins. Your elbows are soft, your shoulders are relaxed. And if you allow the core to release while you were stretching, please once again reactivate it. This movement is called rolling like a ball. We look like a human ball coming up the mat. And so we roll up our spine here. We roll on the upper back and shoulders, making sure not to roll on the neck because that's stressful to it. We pull from the abdominals to come up, and we balance on the sits bones once we're there. And we're going to do that twice. And if you do it once and don't like the feel, just stay up top and watch the second movement. Here we go. Forehead into the knees. You can wrap the arms tightly around the legs or move your hands by the ankle. Here we go. Let's all take a deep breath in. On the exhale, let's rock and roll to balance. See if you can keep your feet up off the floor. Then we're going to rock and do it again and roll and bring ourselves up. Good. Let's all take a deep breath in. As we exhale, just slide your legs out in front of you, sitting up nice and tall. Fingers are going to reach to the ceiling once more. This is called a forward fold, where we round our back, let our chest come down toward the thighs, and your hands reach wherever they can. Good. Then slowly, we're going to roll ourselves up. Big shoulders up. Let's roll back and down. Okay, I'm going to move now, so I'm going to be on my right hip. And we're going to take our legs straight out from our hips. If you were looking at a clock, it would be 12 o'clock. And we're going to bring our head down on our arm. This is the most modified, easiest position to do this in. So we're going to do some sideline leg work. Use your free hand to keep you stable, and I want you to flex that top leg. And the other leg, the bottom leg, really anchor it to the floor. So we're going to lift and lower. Make sure that that leg does not touch the lower leg. So we're working the ab and the adductors here, and lift and lower. Now we're going to take that leg and we're going to hold it in the air, and we're going to pulse it. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Then I'm going to ask you to point your toe. Now we're going to draw a little bitty circle. Imagine your big toe is tracing the outline of a golf ball, all right? And every circle is identical to the one before it. Then we pause, flex our foot, and then we go the other way. Good. And 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8. Let's bend the knee now and bring that leg in. We're going to take that left leg and we're going to lay it down toward the floor. And we're just going to pat from our behind knee down that leg, giving it a nice little stretch. All right, so I'm going to take and extend my leg back out, shake it down, and I'm going to move us now into prone position, which means you're lying on the belly, so we can do a little bit of back work, and then we'll worry about that other leg. So I'm going to ask that you take your hands and make a pillow, or your forearms, whichever's more comfortable. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. And then we're going to engage the core so we can make sure we're successful once we lift these legs. So I want you to draw the abdominal muscles in and lift them up. Feel that belly button being pulled back toward the spine. Next is your pelvic floor. Think about it like an elevator. Draw it deeply inside you, and finishing up then deep contraction, all layers of your buttocks. We're going to take and float our legs in the air now. Feel your hips pulling down into the floor. And I want you to take a deep breath in. On the exhale, externally rotate so your heels face into each other. Now, if there is any discomfort in your back, I want you to try tightening the abdominals, and if that doesn't help you, then you need to lower the legs closer to the floor. When you're finally stable, let's tap those heels. Here we go. Tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Point your toes, and let's take a breath. On the exhale, lay those legs down behind you, and give yourself here just a moment to recover. Very important, anytime the body leaves the floor, that core is strong, because we never want to run the risk of injuring our back. So now we're going to work on what's called back extension. So the head will lift, and we're going to take our thumbs and let them touch the outside edges of our mat and spread the fingers wide. I want you to bring your upper arm now so it is parallel to the floor without bringing the shoulders up into the ears. Your eyes now look right out in front of your mat. Everything from the hips down will stay anchored to the floor. Let's all take a deep breath in. On the exhale, press into the floor, leading with the crown of the head, and come up. Feel the hips still continuing to dig into the floor, and this is once again where you really need to listen to your own back. If there's any discomfort at all, you need to tighten those abdominals, and if that's not a fix, then bring yourself closer to the floor and drop your chin at the chest. And so typically what we do then, we lift the head and we just let our head sway side to side. All the while, continue pulling that belly button deeper and deeper into the spine. Let's bring it back to center now and let our eyes look out onto the floor. Let's all take a breath in. When we exhale, soften the elbows and let's lower ourselves down. Okay, I'm going to ask you to have your hands outside of your chest now, elbows in. We're going to press ourselves up. Bring your legs, your knees under your hips, the hips parallel to the floor, and our shoulders are going to be directly above our elbows and wrist. This is called, or will be, a cat back stretch. We're going to round our back, eyes look back to the belly, tuck your hips and your tailbone underneath. Oh, feel the stretch, feel the opening you're creating for your spine. Should feel really good. Let's all take another breath. When we exhale, we're going to walk our hands back, and that's our transition, so that now we can go down and work that other leg. So remember, we were out. We need to have symmetry, so we have to make sure that the arm is out so our head is down, just like it was on the other side. So we're going to flex the foot, and we're going to lift that leg up and down. Remember not to come in contact with the other leg and really anchor that leg to the floor. 3 and 4 and 5. Keep breathing. 6 and 7 and 8. Give it a little pulse at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Point your toe now. Draw me a circle around that little golf ball. Nice and controlled. You're letting that femur stir around in your hip. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Flex the foot the other direction. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're going to bend the knee and we're going to bring the leg forward like we did on the other side, and just let your hand start at your behind knee and just kind of run down that leg. Good work. All right, pat her out. I'm going to roll us on our belly one more time, and I'm going to show you a combination movement that we have upper and lower body in the air at the same time. This movement is called float pose into swimming. So we're going to bring our arms out front, reaching with the fingertips, legs behind, toes reaching back. Please make sure, check your core, draw the abdominal muscles in and lift them up. Again, the pelvic floor. Imagine you had too much soda before you came to class and you're tempted to get up and go to the bathroom, but you don't want to. So engage that pelvic floor and contract deep into the buttocks. Let's test out our core now. Send the legs to the air first. Listen to the back's reaction. Any discomfort means you need to tighten the abdominals or lower the legs. Float the arms up, reach out with those fingertips. Let's take a deep breath in now. On the exhale, let's swim. Go 1, 2, just like in the pool. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, breathe. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and hold. Lower the body. Take your hands now outside of your chest. Push up, bring your hips over the heels. You can keep the arms extended, laying the head down. You can lay one arm down, let the head rest on it, or let the arms rest beside you. This is child's pose, and I'm sure for most people, their favorite pose of the class. It's your chance to rest. Breathing deeply. Now let's take our hands in front of our knees and bring ourselves upright. And we're going to do a little bit of a stretch here. This movement is called the saw. I want you to sit up nice and tall, flex your feet, try to pull the back of the knee down into the floor, and then look at your back. You want it nice and strong, and then extend those arms out. Relax your shoulders. We're going to twist. We don't want our hips to move here. Keep your hips into that camera. Take a deep breath in, twist to the right. On the exhale, reach and stretch. That left hand reaches out toward that right little toe. The right palm reaches behind us. Then breathe in, lift up, and back to your center. Inhale and twist, reach and stretch. Breathe in and lift, and one more time to the right. Breathe in, exhale, reach and stretch. Up, back to the center, and one more time left. Breathe. Exhale and stretch. Let's bring the arms back up. Legs slide in. Take a deep breath and reach. Forward fold, everybody. Round your back. Come on down and give yourself a chance to stretch. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is take your hands on your right leg. We're going to pull that leg in. Put it either in the groin Or over the top, a little bit deeper stretch if you do this. Take your left arm, wrap, and bring that right leg into your chest. Your right fist now goes behind you on the floor. Press down, sit tall, and twist. This is an oblique and spinal twist. Breathing deep. Exhale. Breathe in and out. Let's take another breath. When we exhale, we lift our head, we come back to center, and now we bring our legs, so once more they're side by side. Flex your feet this time, pull the toes toward the shins, and fingers are down. Sweep your arms up, inhale and lift. Now this time, if you can reach your toes, grab them. If you can't, don't worry about it, but you give yourself a nice little calf stretch. Oh, that feels so good. Then just like we did on the right, we take that left leg, we bring it in, and you either place it here, or if you went over the top like I did, and the right arm takes hold, bring that leg into the chest, put your left hand behind your left glute, push down into the floor, rise tall, twist, and drop your chin to the chest. Breathing deep. Inhale and exhale. Let's take a final breath. When we exhale, the head comes up, we center, and now I want you to find your way back to a comfortable position. Take your hands and lay them on your thighs, elbows rest under your shoulder. Once again, the crown of your head leads tall, the tailbone into the floor. I want you to create that sense of length once more for the neck and spine. Please close your eyes as we drift the chin forward. Let your head begin to sway, ear reaching gently in each direction. So we've come full circle. We're back where we began, into our own breathing. If you lost that mind and body connection, see if you can regain them here. Bring that oxygen home. As we sit at the end of class, we have a chance to kind of take stock of how we did. Think about how your body felt before we started the movement, and hopefully it's different now. My hope for each one of you is when you get up off of this mat, that your body now feels energized. And mentally, taking this time for yourself should make you feel more quiet and relaxed. Let your head come back to center with the fingertips to the floor, and I want you to sweep those arms up, inhale and lift, reach tall. Exhale and release. Sweep up, inhale, lift, exhale and lower. Last time, sweep up, inhale and lift, exhale and release. When the hands touch the floor, lift only your shoulders, bring them up, roll them back and down, lift them up, roll them forward and release. Sitting very quietly and tall now, just place your hands back on your thighs. I hope that going through this activity with me this afternoon, having a chance to see a very, very basic Pilates class will give you the confidence to come in and try. Please know, we want you to work at your own level, and it's so important that you listen to your own body. You can be successful doing Pilates. And the beautiful part about this class, like yoga, you can do Pilates your entire life. I certainly hope you've enjoyed our session, and I do look forward to seeing you in one of my classes. I hope you've had a good time as much as I've enjoyed being with you. Take care and be safe. Thank you for joining me.